conscious. She's okay with being a little absurd and pompous. That's because I kill it, then stick around just to haunt it. Waiting on my thank you, be grateful that I would even let you watch this.
Down in the new town, I already feel that it's time for me. I'm getting a little stuck down with these big friends, they already thrown by the size of me. I don't really get took, put my deuce up, I will not live in apology. I wish you lose the opportunity yourself, don't make way for a prodigy.
Catch your breath for a second. Look at your neighbor and check.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the fastest rising cities in the U.S., the capital city of Austin, Texas. Today it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the New York Giants taking on the Shamrocks of Austin. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. And no return here to start. It's a fair catch, and they will set up shop at the 25. Levis going to the air right away. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Giants have it. It's picked up, and they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
To put it mildly, that is not the way anyone wants to start off a game. You fumble on your first offensive snap. But now what you're worried about is, does that linger throughout the game for your guys on offense? And how's the defense going to handle it? Because no one expects to run out on the field on the first play and have to all of a sudden start to play themselves.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Jones, following the fumble recovery, he'll throw toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Isaiah Hodgins was his intended receiver, and now it's 2nd down. But you look at this defense. They were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against?
And all the way in, touchdown, New York. Saquon Barkley, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Giants take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone. I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass. Let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Kayvon Thibodeau, he beat the O-line and recorded the sack. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement, because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
Let's see if they do that. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And 3rd and 8 now. Well, this defense for the Giants much improved from week 1. They were terrific last week in getting their guys their first win of the season.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
Levis on 3rd down. Looking for Godwin, but it's intercepted. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Throwing Jones. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Now Jones. Catch made here by Campbell. Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Jones from the gun on 3rd down, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. So the Giants now are going to turn it over to their field goal unit from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a 1st and goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And job 1 here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Made the quick throw there outside the numbers, and you can feel the thought process. They just wanted to get in his hands and let him make a play. But how about the job they did defensively to keep him bottled up? Instead, they tackle him for a loss.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Levis to throw it. His throw incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And that's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 14 yards that time for number 14. Well, they go play action. Here's Levis. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Now, this great city, Austin, one of the fastest growing metropolises, not just in Texas, but in the U.S. as a whole. Of course, the University of Texas is here. Vibrant nightlife, great music scene, great food scene, and now an NFL franchise, and these folks are over the moon. Back to the air on second down. Levis eluding the pressure right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. You talk about this Giant defense. They were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, the head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. Fourth down, so Jake Camarda is out there. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll work down inside the 45. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 3rd and 1.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
There he goes, left side. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter.
Here we go, hey. Go River! Go River!
On 1st down, Jones. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka showcasing the pass rush. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. The pitch goes to Barkley. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point attempt to come here. He's got it, and it's 17-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
That's caught inside the 20. And touchdown. Chris Godwin, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Shamrocks are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And he'll elect not to run with it. And a fair catch on the kickoff will move the ball to the 25.
Here we go.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Throwing on first down, but this one lines up to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again, Jones. And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
Defensively, they came into the game with the understanding they're going to have to slow him down on passes just like this because he was over 100 yards receiving a week ago. And you know they want to get him involved here as well.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Operating from the gun. Jones working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Back to throw. Jones. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. A short one here secured by the tight end Waller. Down the sideline he goes. Darren Waller. Touchdown Giants. Darren Waller. 60 yards. And the Giants are able to stretch out their lead. Oh, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or two today. And I was like, oh, a zinger or two? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
First down and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He got 29 yards that time.
That's good for a Boston first down.
Let's go.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Meanwhile, Levis's throw taken in by Valdez-Scantling. And a nice pickup there as he'll get about 9, and that will lead us to a stoppage here at the 2-minute warning. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Now Levis. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Justin Matabike working his way to the quarterback that time. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paid.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And the Giants are going to have it here just past the 25. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. On 4th down, Jamie Gillen on to punt for the Giants. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. 39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with only 9 seconds remaining, well, not much time, we'll see how they play this. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
But this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
One final shot before the half. Here's Levis. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. And the fair catch signaled for and taken, so they'll begin this third quarter from their 25-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I liked what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 97 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. He had a really solid first half running the football and picking up where he left off here in the third quarter.
How about the yardage he's piling up right now? This feels like a full game, not just this series that we're watching right now. I know people are screaming, where are the adjustments from halftime on the defensive side of the ball? Sometimes they're just not there. Sometimes you just have to find a way to tackle someone.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Looking to throw. Jones trying to find Barkley on the out route, and he's got him. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. That one goes for 24 yards. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jones gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley with career touchdown number 70. And the Giants take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 24. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They start the drive with White, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape, and he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Buried behind the line by Azeez Ojulari.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed.
Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down.
And not all spectacular catches are the result of a pass that maybe was not thrown quite right. Sometimes it's thrown in the perfect spot. And
how about this, a fake? Oh, and this turns into a mess as it's intercepted. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. So the fake punt, a daring call this deep in their own end, and the end result, certainly not what they were hoping for.
I have to admit I admire their daring, but I actually would like this play called better if it's between the 40s here. The problem is, even if the ball's not intercepted and it's just incomplete, you're still giving away half a field's worth of possession.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third.
At the 36-yard line.
Now Jones wants to change it up. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And he'll go down at the 28. 136 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. Able to slither by, and inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 yards, good for a giant 1st down. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
2nd and 10. In motion, Slayton. Here's a fake on the jet sweep as he'll go instead with Barkley. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Jones now on 3rd down. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. Touchdown! Saquon Barkley from 13 yards out. And the Giants are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Well, familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Justin Matabike there to bring him down. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack.
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
And this is a situation where as a head coach, you're just saying, what else could go wrong? Let's get it all out of our system, please. This has been a sloppy game throughout. The execution has been lacking. A lot of mistakes, both mental and physical. And here's a big play that goes by the wayside.
Levis to throw off play action. Escaping the pressure right. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. A big-time sack there on 4th down. And the Giants are going to take over in great field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A give to Barkley out of the gun. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Running again with Barkley on 2nd down. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 27 yards. And the Giants add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down. Now, 4th quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Levis sets up to throw here. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Bobby Okereke. And the Giants are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Flushed out right. And Jones will hit the deck here, and he is able to pick up the 1st down. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he'll work down inside the 45.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
2nd and 6.
Now a 2nd and 6. And this will be caught. It's Isaiah Hodgins. 7 yards on the quick slant and a first down. Was that a design pass or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Barkley, inside handoff. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. 219 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Barkley will take this one in. Touchdown, New York. Well, Charles, just impressive in all 3 phases. Offense, defense, special teams have really done their job. And here the offense doing its part yet again with another score in the 4th quarter.
I know it seems like something we shouldn't do because the scoreboard does tell it all. But let's set it aside for a moment. This game was absolutely memorable with how they played it. Really terrific effort. Really well executed. Congratulations to them.
Taking it about the 1. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Levis now off of play action. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Well, this game, it was well in hand early, never really in doubt. Charles, you and I do so many games together. There's so much parity in the NFL, a lot of close battles. This was not one. Tip your cap to them for a really impressive effort.
Yeah, and you know, as the game went on, I think the defense kind of got together and said, you see our guys on offense, they're just putting up point after point. We need to leave our mark somehow, too, and they did it, pitching a second-half shutout.
So for the Giants, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Austin, they too.
Yeah, I should have served the other one, but he right back for another one. Quarter on a quarter, how you double up right off the bus. Soon as he touch down, run the money up. One-on-one. Water, a little vinegar mix, it's tough enough to take another. Get plenty room, you get money with my run, been nothing but a stun. I done upped a bunch of them. This what got them ducking me. They don't come out the house like a punishment. The ones they jumping me. 4-5 years and they work is numbing me. Too forever. She won't rushing me. Ask anybody what's up with me. Rolling but off. Been up a week, why could never out hustle me? They was older, broker than the younger me.